Hey, it's Sierra, and today I want to talk about depression. So, depression. It's often categorized as extreme feelings of sadness, despondence, um, loss of interest in your life in general. The notion that, and the general feeling that everything is not okay, that things are off in a really sad way of sorts. I personally have struggled with depression for a lot of my life. I currently do not. And there's several reasons why. Most of it I would attribute to my ability to focus my thoughts in another way that just don't create the same feelings in me that depression at one point did. A lot of people categorize depression differently. I don't really like to put a really finite, specific definition on it, just because everybody is different, and the way that you'll experience depression, if you are going through depression, can be varied. So for some, you may experience symptoms of exhaustion, just overall tiredness, the feeling that you need to sleep. You just don't want to be in the world. You may even be thinking about suicide, not wanting to be present on earth at all anymore. Just generally feeling as though there's a lack of reason for your experience here. Anxiety, sadness. I've said sadness several times, but I think sadness is one of the main emotions that comes up when you're experiencing depression. At least for me, that's what it was. And the way that I've come to look at it now is that I was focused in a very specific direction. No matter what life was bringing me at the time, I saw it one way. And to me, it was the wrong way. A way that told me that nothing is working out for me. There's no point to this. There's no reason for me to even be here anymore. I was just fucking sad, and I was unhappy, and I didn't feel blessed. I didn't feel as though there was some sort of rhyme or reason to everything that was going on, other than life was fucking with me and it wanted me to be upset. Everything was working out in a way that was intending to make my life harder. And that's not how we are intended to come into this experience. I mean, we're spiritual beings having a temporary physical experience here on this earth. And there's so many ways that we can be. So why allow ourselves to feel sad? Now, that may sound like a slightly asshole-ish comment to you, depending on where you are and how you're currently feeling, because you may be thinking, I don't want to feel this way. I'm not asking to be depressed. I have this going on, this going on, this going on. My thoughts are here. I don't feel like I have control over anything in my experience, and all I want to do is go away. And controversial, maybe to say, but there's nothing wrong with you feeling that way in this moment. In fact, accepting how you feel in this moment is one of the best ways to get through this moment. Okay, you won't feel good. Embrace that feeling and accept it as where you are right now, but also acknowledge that it's temporary. Things change. Things are going to change. But one of the best ways to speed up the process of things changing, especially in a way that feels good to you and takes you to a better place, is for you to choose to focus on things that make you feel a bit better. And here's what I mean by that. Let's put a scenario out there. Say you don't have money. You don't have the partnership that you would like in your life. It seems as though everything in your physical experience is going wrong. You're stressed out. You feel extreme lack of everything that seems good to you. And you just feel down in the dumps about yourself and everything else around you, right? Well, even in your experience of not having the things that you feel like you need to bring yourself joy, there's an opportunity there to find something that can allow you to feel a bit empowered about where you are. So there's all these negative things hanging over you, and you can see them all as terrible things, or, let's play devil's advocate for a moment, you can look at these things and say, well, these are my problems. But my problems are not all the world's problems. There are some other individuals who may have worse problems. And I don't have all of the problems that I could have. Maybe, just maybe, these bad things that I'm experiencing now are preparation for something that will come later that will be ultimately good. Maybe I can look this way instead of looking that way. Maybe I can look over here at the possibility of things changing for the better, rather than focusing on the things that are dangling here and making me feel sad, stressed out, and ultimately helpless. Helplessness beyond sadness was one of the main emotions and feelings that I just had all the time when experiencing depression. I felt as though I was I had like what you would call like walking depression. I was functional. I was functionally depressed. I can move around. I can go to work. I can get my schoolwork done. I had good grades. It wasn't that I was unable to get things done in a way that people would see as effective, which means that other people would see me and not really think I was depressed. Hell, other people would see me and think you don't have any good reason to be depressed. But see, depression is an individual thing. It's about what's happening inside of you. It doesn't matter how anyone else views you and your circumstances. It's about how you view you and your circumstances. You can be beautiful. You can be rich. You can be in a wonderful relationship. You can have all the things that people would typically say should make someone happy. But that does not mean that you will be happy. Your perspective is what will create emotions that bring about happiness. So perspective is one key element of guiding yourself out of depression. Now, there are medications, there are other types of things that you can use. And hey, if that's what's working for you and it's making you feel better inside and it's helping you guide your thoughts in a better direction, by all means, partake and do what you can now so that you can feel better in this moment and hopefully even more positive later. But I've never really enjoyed medications in that way. They don't move me and make me feel better in the way that I would hope that they would if I would try them. It's temporary, and it ultimately, after the fact, I would feel even more hopeless after attempting to use some sort of substance or medication to elevate myself emotionally. And there are ways that we can do things now within our heads to get a similar effect, if not the same or better effect, depending on where you're standing. At least that's my experience. So one of the tactics and techniques that I found, I've met so many wonderful people. I even kind of consider some of the individuals who brought this information to me like kind of spiritual, teachers. Everyone in a way can be a spiritual teacher to you. And I've had some amazing people come and teach me some things that have really allowed me to let go of some of the energy that I thought I had already gotten rid of out of my experience. But I hadn't fully, and that's okay because it was a great opportunity for me to learn how to do so even more. So this technique is called releasing. It works off the premise that everything in one way, shape, or form is connected to a need or desire for approval, safety, or control. And depending on how you're looking at your circumstances, I'm sure you can tie how you're feeling inside to at least one of those things. At some points, I was thinking about all three. I didn't approve of myself. I felt as though others didn't approve of me. And that also added to that feeling of sadness. I felt like I had no control. Everything is just happening to me, but I'm not doing anything to have any kind of guidance over what's happening in my experience. I'm calling out for something to change, but it's not changing. And I'm talking to God, and I feel like I'm not being heard. And so I felt like I had no control, which definitely offered me feelings of helplessness. And then safety. Safety, you can feel unsafe in so many ways. One, I didn't feel safe in my own head. I felt like my mind and my thoughts were in many ways against me. Like my thought process is attacking me. My body's not on my side. And not only do I feel unsafe at that notion, but I could feel super out of control and then sad. And then that also ties into disapproval of self and just my whole experience on this earth. And all those things can lead to suicidal ideations and just the overall general feeling of things not being okay. But releasing is a technique where you're holding in your mind's eye what it is that is making you feel negative in some way, shape, or form. You don't even have to name it out loud, but what is it? And what is it tied to? Is it a relationship? Is it money? Is it just how you feel about yourself? Do you generally not feel safe in your environment? Do you not feel safe from someone else? Do you not feel safe from yourself? Whatever it is, hold that in your mind's eye and allow that feeling to come up within you. Allow that negative feeling, that tension to come up in your body, and just intentionally call that thought to the front of your mind. Or if it's a series of thoughts, call them all to the front of your mind, right? Now, ask yourself, is this related to control, the need for it or the lack of it? Safety, the need for it and the lack of it? Or approval, the need for it and the lack of it? Is it someone else's approval, safety, or control you're reaching for, even if it's not for yourself? Like, are you advocating emotionally on someone else's behalf? Whatever it is, hold that in your mind. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how strongly is it making you feel? 1 being the least, 10 being the most. Let's just go ahead and quantify it for a minute. Put a number on it. One of the best things about this exercise is I find that whenever I'm feeling some sort of way, I can always come up with a number. And I don't even necessarily know where the number is coming from. If it's 10, it's just because it's too much. And so 10 is automatically like, okay, I'm at the top. I'm at my limit. I'm at my wit's end. And when you're sitting at 10, that's most often when suicidal ideations, feelings of I don't want to be here at all on this earth physically at all anymore. That can bring those emotions to pass. And when I'm sitting somewhere in between there, it's based on how I'm feeling inside. But it always feels like an authentic, genuine, real number to me. For whatever reason, it's like it just comes up. So I like the idea of putting it on a scale of 1 to 10 and just putting that number out there so that you're aware of how you're feeling inside your body and how those thoughts are making you, or you're allowing yourself to feel as a result of them. So I keep my eyes closed generally when I'm doing this. It just makes it easier for me. So you pick your number. You're breathing in and out with ease as much as you can. I like to take deep breaths while I'm doing this exercise. And I'm thinking about that thing and what it's connected to and how strongly it's making me feel. And you ask yourself, if you know that wanting this thing to be different than it is only keeps it further away from you, if you know that wanting the change does not bring the change, if you know that only wanting the change means that you won't have the change, can you let it go? And you breathe in, you think about it some more, and you take your mind through it logically. If I know that me wanting things to change will not make it change, if I know that wanting something to be a certain way pushes that thing further away from me, can I let it go? And the answer is yes, I can let it go. And I ask myself the same question again. If you know that wanting it to be different than it is the same thing as it not being any different than it is, can you let it go? And yes, I can let it go. You let it go a little bit more. Yes, I can let it go a little bit more. And can I let it go a little bit more with ease? Can I accept my circumstances exactly as they are without needing it to be any different than it is? If I know that needing it to be different than it is does not make it any different, can I let it go? The answer is yes. I can let it go. Can I let it go a little bit more? Yes. I can let it go a bit more. Can I let it go a little bit more? With ease. Not needing it to be different, but simply calling out that I'm open to things changing. I'm open to not needing them to be different, but open to them being changed with ease. I'm accepting where I am. I'm accepting however much control I have over how I feel and my circumstances. I'm accepting the fact that in this very moment, right now, I am safe. I'm fully present in acknowledging that no other moment can exist outside of this moment until I'm in that moment. So right now is all that matters. If I'm safe right now, then I'm safe. And I can approve of me. I can love me. I can allow myself to be at peace with me. And that's enough right now, isn't it? Isn't it enough to approve of me right now without needing anything else to be approved of? Even if my circumstances can't be approved of by me in this moment, right now, I can approve of me. And knowing that, can I let it go? Can I let it go a little bit more? With ease? And can I let it go a little bit more with ease? And a little bit more. And I do this until I feel as though I've let it go as much as I can let it go in this moment. And then I ask myself again, on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I feeling about it? 10 being the most intense, 1 being the least. And I almost always, depending on how strongly I felt when I began, I find that I feel a bit better. I can let it go a little bit more. Sometimes if I'm at a 10, I might jump down to a 1 through the releasing process. Sometimes if I'm at a 10, I might jump down to a 9. But either way, I acknowledge the movement down. And I acknowledge the fact that I help myself move down. Even if I'm releasing with someone else and they're asking me these questions and they're doing it with me in this moment, I take responsibility for the fact that I feel better because I chose to focus my mind in a way that allowed me to feel better right now. And that little gem, if I had found it when I was first dealing with depression, I imagine it would have made some sort of impact and really made things easier for me. But you know what? Fuck it. It doesn't matter. I was where I was. I am where I am now. And every moment in between has helped me get to where I'm currently standing. So I needed it. I needed to feel how I felt so that I can know how it is to feel how I feel now. I needed to feel how I felt so I can help others to understand that there's a way to move through those emotions and feel better right now. So it's just one technique that I use, and I just do it. I go down the scale, and you can use this for anything. You can use this for your finances. You can use this for loved ones that you can't seem to get out of your mind, and you care so deeply about them, but you don't have the resources or you can't control things on their behalf, and it's making you feel just all sorts of tense and upset inside. Do a little bit of releasing, because the goal of the releasing is to feel a little bit better right now. And through that process, you acknowledge that there's any tension in your body, and you open a door wherever the tension is, wherever you're feeling a need to release. You open that door and you leave that door wide open, and you say to this emotion, this feeling, this tension, I love you if you stay. I love you if you go. But I kindly ask you to leave with ease. And you're not rushing the feeling away. You're not trying to make anything happen. Just simply allowing it to leave. Because by loving your current placement, your circumstances, where you are right now, you open up the possibility for things to change in this abundantly beautiful, positive way. You stop fighting. You stop struggling. You stop pushing against whatever is happening right now. Allow it. Let it be. Stop fighting. It's not your battle. It's all inside. Focus on where you are and how you feel. The goal is to feel a bit better. And you don't notice how important it is to feel better until you really don't feel good. Because I don't care how you spin it, flip it, or put it in my face. When you feel like complete and utter shit, no matter how it came to get those feelings inside you, that is part of what makes you not want to be here anymore. That's part of what makes you not want to be on this earth anymore. And there's so many beautiful, abundant things for you to experience here, even if it's just to feel good right now. When you do that inside work, that internal work, that let me do something to try to make myself feel a little bit better, even if that thing that I must do is just letting go of what is making me feel bad right now. That can help you elevate out of feelings that keep you feeling so down and low and heavy. Meditation, I'm like a broken record. However you meditate, the goal of clearing your mind out, Whatever it is that you need to do to take your mind off of what isn't working, that can be a tremendous help in getting you to a place that feels better. And when you're in a better feeling place, your thoughts are a lot clearer, in a more positive direction, and the outcome of your actions will be much, much, much more positive. It simply is the truth. It's my truth, and that's the only kind of truth I can share with you. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the truth. So depression is real. How you feel inside is real. It doesn't matter to me what triggered the feelings. If it's causing you to feel that detachment from where you are on this earth, I wish you all the peace of mind that you can possibly handle, and that you might release some of these feelings and emotions, that you might find a way to make yourself feel better right now. If it's this way or another way, whatever way. It causes no harm to anyone else, and supreme feelings of well-being within yourself. I encourage you to try it. I'll put up some other videos later, one just purely releasing, so maybe we could do some releasing together if that's something that you like to do. But this is something that helps me, besides meditating, finding things I deliberately enjoy. And when all else fails and I can't get my head clear, I take a nap. Go to fucking sleep. If depression is already making you tired and you can't handle the thoughts that's going on, give yourself permission to do it without feeling bad about it. Rest yourself. That way you can heal your energy back up. Get yourself back to a place where you feel okay, and then you'll be ready to take on the next moment. It's about this moment right now. Making this moment feel better sets the stage for all the other moments to come. Peace, love, deuces.